Hi, welcome to Coach's Corner with Marla Majewski. Thanks for coming. I hope you're all doing well, and today I'd like to talk to you about energy fields. Now, I had an opportunity to see Bruce Lipton speak in New York City the other week, and I'd like to share with you some interesting things because we were at a conference that was sort of, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Cheryl Richardson, all of these really big names in goal attainment and, reaching your aspirations, and some very amazing speakers. And Bruce Lipton was one of the ones that really stood out for me because he sort of gave a scientific approach on why we do the things we do, why we have relationships with certain people, not with others. He sort of gave a scientific explanation of why some of those things happen. And so the way he explained it is through our energy fields. So he said that the energy fields around us, we all have one, and we emit an energy field to everyone that we meet. And if you are meeting someone, you emit an energy field, and the person that's meeting you is emitting another field as well. Now, if you're on the same wavelength, and you've heard people describe people that way, oh, this friend of mine, she's totally on the same wavelength as me, or my coworker, or my boss, they're on the same wavelength. So when you meet someone and your energy field coexists at the same level, it's vibrating at the same level, your waves actually get bigger when you are together. So they're higher and lower, so they actually emit, and you end up leaving with more energy than you had before you met that or interacted with that person. And on the other side of the spectrum is that when you meet someone who's not on the same wavelength as you, what happens is your wavelengths meet, and they actually end up counteracting, like depleting each other. So you actually are left with no energy. And you've all experienced that, haven't you? Where you've met someone and you're like, oh, I'm exhausted, I need a nap after talking to that person, right? So there is this thing where if you have something where you just check in, see how your energy is when you meet, or when you're in a certain situation, when you're in a certain environment. Check in with yourself. See if what your energy level is, if it's drastically gone up or down, and then act accordingly. So there are a lot of times where I've been in a situation and I've met someone, and they've got great credentials, or they are good friends with someone I know, or they are someone has been recommended to me of why I should meet this person. And then I do, and my energy level drops. And then I've dismissed it. Like, oh, so-and-so is good friends with them. I need to at least, get to know her. Or, oh, someone told me that this person would be a great contact for me. I would have a lot to learn from them. And so I rationalize with my head why I need to continue this relationship further. Now, Bruce Lipton had a very great story about stem cell research. And he had stem cells in two different petri dishes, same cells, different petri dishes. One, he put a toxin in it, and the other, he put nutrients in it. Now, cells, we're talking cells, like no cognitive ability here whatsoever. After a certain time, the petri dish with the toxins were slammed up against the petri dish wall, trying to get as far away from that toxin as possible. The other petri dish was on top of the nutrients, trying to get as close as possible to the nutrients because it would give them more life. Now, the same thing happens with us, and our body has the ability. Now, how do those cells know what to do? It was through the form of energy. And Bruce had a great saying. He said, energy will activate what is in harmony. And I think if we took that sentence and lived our lives by it, and just listened to the energy that we would flow through life, meeting the people we need to meet, having the relationships that we needed to meet. If we were really true to ourselves and listened to how our energies went up or down when we interacted with certain people, our lives would be so much better. We would be formulating those relationships that will be mutually beneficial. We will be linking our wagons to people that are truly, genuinely have the energy to support what goals you have and what you're trying to do with your life.